Hello everyone and welcome to Victoria's Cantina. My husband and I recently returned from spending half a month in Japan. It was truly one of the greatest experiences of my life. Japan is a beautiful country. It is full of the nicest, most polite people I have ever met. It is incredibly scenic. The sightseeing and theme parks are top-notch. The food is also delicious. It is also a toy collector's heaven on earth, for you can find all sorts of fun and unique collectibles all over the place. If you follow me on social media, then you've no doubt been following my adventures through Japan. I had been sharing many photos and information and details about the things that I've been seeing and the toys that I've been buying. Our travels took us to Tokyo, Tokyo Disneyland, Tokyo Disney Sea, Kyoto, Universal Studios Japan, Osaka, Hiroshima, Miyajima Island, numerous shrines, temples, castles, and historical sites, and toy stores. Plenty of toy stores. Lots of toy stores. And that's where this video comes in, for I bring you Toy Hunting Adventures, Japan Edition. So what did I end up getting in Japan? Well, quite a few things. In fact, too many things to show here in the camera frame. So I'm going to divide things up. Let's just start off with the most random thing, maybe. And that would be this stuffed rabbit that I picked up from Tokyo Disney Sea at the Tokyo Disneyland Resort. Now, several years ago, Disney introduced Duffy the Disney Bear at the Tokyo Disneyland Resort, and it became very, very popular. It was basically a stuffed bear that you could buy, and then you could go back and get clothes for it and dress it up. They had a walk-around character you could meet, and they tried to introduce that into the U.S. They pushed it at the Disneyland Resort as well as the Walt Disney World Resort, and it never really took off. And then they introduced Shelly May the bear, which was Duffy's girlfriend. Again, popular in Japan, but not so popular in the US. A few years after that, they followed it up with Gelatoni the cat. And I actually did see this one as well at Tokyo Disney Sea. And I thought it was probably the coolest of all of them. But because Duffy and Shelly May didn't quite take off in the US, Gelatoni the cat was never brought overseas. And then just a few months back, they introduced Stella Lou the rabbit. Now, I don't know why they're giving these stuffed animals southern sounding names in Japan, but hey, it is what it is. And I saw a lot of girls walking around with Stella Lou. So she's the one that I ended up buying. I was kind of hesitant at first as to whether or not I even wanted this. Did I need it? Not really. She was a little bit expensive, close to about $35-$40 after the yen conversion. But I ended up getting her because everybody had her and I just kind of felt left out. And my husband was nice enough to offer to buy her for me. But I'm actually pretty happy with the way that this looks. I don't generally go for stuffed animals. I have several of them, but it's not really anything I'm huge on. I know some people are. And you can see she's got these really long ears, and they're kind of rigid, and this really pretty satin-looking bow right there. I think it's a really nice-looking stuffed animal. It definitely seems to be a pretty high quality for a stuffed animal, and I really like the way that she looks. I think she's super cute, and the color palette of that very soft purple and the white looks very nice. There's her name, Stella Lou. You can see the little Mickey shape right there on her feet, and that's kind of a running thing with these stuffed animals from Disney. And I love the little eyelashes, I love the eyes, and then of course the cute little pink nose. It's just a really fun little thing, and I like it. I'm glad that I picked it up. I didn't get any of the other ones. I don't have any of the other ones because I've never really gone for this sort of thing, but she will make a fun display piece. Now the next set of things that we got, and we picked these up at Narita Airport when we were flying out. And the first one is this plate. And you can see it's a pretty nice box. It's decorated with the cherry blossoms. And it basically has like a ceramic type plate in there with a very intricate, very beautiful looking design. You can see Mount Fuji in the background. You can see what looks to be a geisha. And it says made in Japan, which is pretty important for any of the souvenirs that we wanted to purchase, even though they're all not made in Japan. And it comes with a little display base, You put the plate on there. Obviously, I haven't opened it up yet because I just haven't gotten to that point. But as you can tell just looking at it, since it has the window box, that is just a really gorgeous looking piece. Next thing is the Kimmy dolls. I know that these were released a few years ago and were pretty popular. It's not anything I've ever collected. And this larger one especially, I think, is really pretty looking. And they had several of them, and each one has a different label. This one says Messiah, and that means true. And then just gives you a little description of what that entails. So each one has a different name and a very different design on each one. And I think this one was very pretty with the green and blue colors. And that'll make a really nice display piece as well. And I did get a little smaller version. It's a keychain that I am going to use as a keychain. And I could have gotten the matching one to go with the big one, but I kind of really liked this one here. It's Hataru, which means passion, and also very, very pretty with a very nice, delicate, intricate design on it. So I think they're pretty nice. The next thing I have here is the Geshapon prizes. And we talked about the Geshapon machines, hugely popular in Japan. They cost anywhere from 100 to 400 yen, which is a little less than $1 to $4 each. And you put coins in the machines, you turn the handle, and I guess it makes a Geshapon type sound, which is why they're called that. The only set I was able to complete was this Dragon Ball set of 4 different figurines, and luckily, I just didn't get any doubles. Each time I got a different figure until I got all 4. So that was really cool. And these are made by Bandai. And like I said, I mean, these are just very nice quality compared to what you would get in the US with the little silly coin machines that we have here. I mean, they feel very solid, very sturdy. They're comprised of different parts. You have to assemble them when you take them out of the little egg or little prize ball or pod, whatever you want to call it. And then it has a little base for each figure. Like this one just kind of like goes in there like that on his hair, and it just like stays in there. And the first Geshapon I actually got was our very first full day in Tokyo. And this is what it was. This is from a series called Love, Live, Sunshine. It's basically just a little girl. She has a name. I'm not familiar with this series. I was only drawn to it because each one of the figures came with a ocean related accessory, which I thought was pretty cool. There was one that had a dolphin, and there were 2 other ones, and this one had a shell. And this is the one that I ended up getting. So I don't really know too much about this series, and I don't really know the significance of why they have ocean related accessories, but I just thought that they looked kind of cute. And as you can see, she is pretty cute. She has some nice detail on her. And then while visiting the Tokyo Skytree Tower, they had a machine that had these Antarctic mammals. And I ended up with these little penguins, and I think that they're very nicely detailed. I mean, if you look at the bottom, it's got that felt sort of material, kind of like a trophy would have. And you do assemble it. You put the penguins inside the little ice block, which goes on top of the base. And it gives you some information there. Emperor penguin. And this is really nice. I actually had a killer whale in this set too that was huge, and unfortunately I didn't get that, but it's actually a really rare one because I was looking at eBay when we got back and they cost like $70. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with these. I think that they're very nicely detailed. Like I said, for these coin machines, I mean, you get really nice prizes, even if it was $4. I mean, I think that it was totally worth it, especially in this case. And then we have a T-Rex, and we picked this one up when we were going through Kyoto. Through the train station one of the evenings that we were there, and my husband said, "Hey, do you want it? It's a dinosaur." I'm like, "Yeah, I want it." And basically I ended up with the T-Rex. There are different dinosaurs you can get in the series, and this is probably the one I would have wanted the absolute most if I had to pick. So I'm glad that I ended up with the T-Rex. It does seem like it has an articulated jaw. Unfortunately, I can't get mine to close. I probably need to apply some heat, and then I'm sure it'll probably work. But what's interesting about these is that they're supposed to hang on glasses. So I'm just using a shot glass because that's what I have handy. Don't judge. And this is the shot glass I picked up at Club 33 in Disneyland last year. And just to show you how that works, you basically just get the claws and hang it there on your glass, and it just stays there. So that's a pretty fun little concept. And as you can see, it seems to work pretty well. So drinking with dinosaurs, I think that should be a thing. Then the next series is this one series that you can get, and there's quite a few different themes that you can get them with, and it's basically the same sort of thing. They're meant to go on drinking glasses. And this was basically a Japan series. Each one had a different Japan-related accessory, and each time the little Japanese girl was dressed in a different sort of costume. And this was the first one I ended up getting. This was also at the Tokyo Skytree Tower shopping area, and it was basically just like a flying girl in like a karate looking top, but it wasn't the one I had really wanted, so I tried again and I ended up getting this one, which I was totally good with. This is basically Mount Fuji with the rising sun in the background, some flowers, and it's reversible. On the other side it's got like shrines or temples with maybe a setting sun, or maybe it's still a rising sun, I don't know, and it's got like some birds there, and it looks really, really nice. So that's cool. And then it comes with this little Japanese girl, and you can see she's kind of dressed like a flight attendant, it almost looks like. And she's kind of in a weird position, but the way that they had it on the picture was she was just kind of posed like that. Now, it's the same sort of thing here as with the dinosaur. Basically, this kind of just connects to the glass like that. You just like place it on there, and then the girl is just going to hang out like that, or you can put her here like that. Now, I'm not really sure how this one goes on the glass. I mean, there was a picture on the machine. I'll have to go back and see if I think I have a photo of that to see how that worked. But I mean, it kind of looked like she just balanced on there somehow. In this case, I can't really get her to do that. So I'm going to have to practice with that. But either way, this was a really fun set, and definitely would have liked to have gotten more of them. But hey, maybe they'll still have them next time I go back to Japan. And then finally, we have this tentacle-looking thing. Now, this was the last Geshapon that I tried purchasing, and this actually is from a Shin Godzilla series. And I later found out from my friend that this was actually Godzilla in his first form, or that's his tail, I guess, that's kind of sticking out of this water. As you can see, it is very nicely detailed. It's kind of translucent. It's very nicely painted. It looks great. I mean, it's kind of weird that it's just a tentacle or his tail or whatever you want to call it, but you know, I did want something from the Godzilla Geshapon, and that's what I ended up with, so I'll take it. Alright, so now let's move on to dinosaurs. I was really hoping I'd find some sort of dinosaurs in Japan, and luckily I did. So first up, I have these two dinosaurs that I picked up at Universal Studios Japan, and it says dinosaur soft model. They're not really that soft. They had these samples there that you could touch and pick up. And I mean, they're kind of similar to Papo dinosaurs in terms of the plastic that they used. But these are designed by Kazunari Araki, who is a Japanese sculptor. And he did these dinosaurs a few years back. And these are only available in Japan. And I believe that I read they were available in some places in Germany as well. So I didn't go to the park looking for this sort of thing. In fact, I was looking for Jurassic World merchandise or Jurassic Park merchandise, and they had a few things when you ride Jurassic Park the ride in the gift shop, but nothing that really jumped out at me. So the only thing I ended up buying was these two dinosaurs, which was funny how that worked out. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't even going to pick these up, but I went back and looked at them again, and I said, hey, these are pretty cool. They're only available here in Japan and maybe in Germany. So I saw that they were a little more expensive on the secondary market, so I thought I'd go ahead and get a couple for my collection. And the first one here is the T-Rex. Obviously, I haven't opened them yet. I will, and they have a display base that they come with. And this one kind of caught my eye because it looks a little bit like the Jurassic Park T-Rex. Not a lot. I mean, not as much as like a Papo or a Rebor would, but it kind of has a similar sort of aesthetic. I guess maybe it's the eyeball mostly that I'm seeing there. But I thought that they looked pretty nice, and they were very attractively priced as well. Like this one here was 1,100 yen, which basically works out to a little bit over $10, just $10 and change. So I thought that was a really good deal. And the same here for the Stegosaurus. They had a bunch of different ones. These are the two that caught my eye the most. The Stegosaurus I liked because I thought it looked very realistic in terms of the proportions and the sculpt. It looks scientifically accurate, and Stegosaurus is my favorite dinosaur, so I decided to go ahead and pick it up. And it's very vibrant, very colorful, and you know, if money weren't an issue, I would have bought them all. Space weren't an issue, I would have bought them all, but hey, you can only travel back with so much, right? So, and again, the pricing on this one, 1,000 yen, which is about $9 and change. So, I mean, you really can't beat pricing like that on these, and they seem to be pretty nice quality. So I'm really happy that I got them. Now the next thing here is something that I got from one of the big camera stores in Shinjuku. This is something that I was completely unaware with. I was familiar with Takara Tomy because they make the little Star Wars figurines and a few other different things, but I did not know that they made articulated dinosaurs, and that's basically what you have here. This is a 3-pack that comes with 3 different figures. You got a T-Rex, you got a Velociraptor, and you got a very Jurassic World looking Mosasaurus. So I thought that was really cool. And you could buy these individually for about $8 a piece, or you could get this entire set for about $14. So I thought this was a really good deal. And it's the only 3-pack that they had. If they would have had more 3-packs, I might have considered getting more. Honestly, I would have wanted to have gotten all of the dinosaurs that they had because there were several of them. But again, money and space, the two big things, especially when you're traveling, there's just not a whole lot of space in your suitcases. But this is pretty cool. I mean, it looks like you can get this sort of a matte thing with a volcano on it, and you can put all your dinosaurs on it. So that's something I'm definitely going to need to look into, especially for when I do go back to Japan, because I definitely want to go back. It was an amazing place. But again, there's that mosasaur right there. It just looks awesome. T-Rex, Velociraptor. I presume it's a Velociraptor anyway. So I'm excited to get these opened up. I do want to do a review on these for sure and see what all of these guys are like. Because again, the articulation they have in the heads and the tails and in the limbs it is pretty cool. So really looking forward to unboxing these in the near future. And I know this isn't a dinosaur, but I'm throwing it in here because I actually got this free for buying that 3-pack of dinosaurs. It's also made by Takara Tomy, and it's basically a penguin, and it has some sort of a base or something that it comes with. So we'll open that up and see what that's like too. Moving right along to Star Wars, I got a lot of stuff. In fact, I got more Star Wars than I got anything else, so I can barely fit everything here in the frame. So I'm going to go ahead and divide things up, and we'll look at things one at a time. So the very first Star Wars thing that I got was at Nakano Broadway, which was that really big shopping center that had a bunch of toy stores in it. And this wasn't something I expected to find there. It's the 3 3/4 inch scale Star Wars The Black Series R2-D2 that came out a few years ago. And this was actually one that I was never able to find at retail. I never found it. And it seems to be like pretty much a perfect looking R2-D2 action figure in the 3 3/4 inch scale. And it's got the Attack of the Clones based rocket boosters on it. So I walked into this one store and they just had it there for 1,400 yen, which is about a little under $13. So I was really excited to find it. And as you can see here in the back, it's got the Japanese writing, which is basically like a big sticker that's on there. So that made me really excited to finally find this. And of all places, I had to go to Japan to find a Hasbro figure. So go figure. But it looks really good, and I'm really happy that I finally found this one. So later that same day, we went to Akihabara, which is a area in Tokyo that is very famous for its electronics and its anime culture, and actually went to the Ami Ami store. Ami Ami is an online retailer as well that I buy things from on occasion when I want to have things imported from Japan and not have to pay ridiculous prices in the US, usually on the secondary market or on Big Bad Toy Store, for example. And I've already reviewed the Rogue One Stormtrooper here. I did want to get a second one. I was in Japan, I saw it, I was like, I may as well go ahead and grab it. And then there was also the Mafex Captain Phasma. This is a 6-inch scale figure, and this is one I've been wanting to get for a few months now, especially since she has that very nice metallic finish, unlike the Hasbro version or the SH Figuarts version. So I'm really excited getting that one opened up and taking a look at it. So really was happy to find these, and pretty good prices too on both of them. Now that same day afterward, we went into a Bic Camera. This is actually the very first Bic Camera we walked into, and we went there for an entirely different reason, but I ended up finding that they sold action figures for SH Figuarts and other toy lines. So I got Chewbacca, and this is one that's been sold out online for the last couple months. And it was one that I did want to get, and I'm glad that I picked it up there because I did not find this figure anywhere else for the rest of my time in Japan. This was our first full day in Japan. Never saw it after that, so I'm really glad that I found it there. And they had several to look at, so I was able to pick out the best paint scheme and everything. And I know it's a little hard to pick up on camera because it's got all this plastic wrapping and such on it. And price-wise, it wasn't too bad either. But again, it was the only time that I found it, and it still sold out online. So I am glad that I was able to pick it up, and I'm really looking forward to getting this one opened up, especially since I already have Han Solo. I already got Luke Skywalker, got C-3PO and R2-D2 on pre-order, so Chewbacca will go along with those figures very nicely. The next thing I have here is this R2-D2 figure that I picked up at Tokyo Disneyland. I don't really think it does anything. I mean, I haven't opened it up yet. It doesn't indicate here on the packaging that it does anything special, but what drew me to it is that it's just a very good-looking, simplistic R2-D2 with no gimmicks or anything fancy. So that's what I really liked about it. And the paint on it, I mean, the dome is very nicely done, very nice deep blues. It's got a semi-metallic sort of paint there on the dome, and the rest of it just looks really good. I thought that this would make a very nice shelf display piece just by itself, and it was also pretty reasonably priced as well. It's about $13 or so. So this is really cool. Looking forward to getting that opened up and seeing what it's like. So the next thing I have here is something I picked up at Toys R Us in Kyoto. And this was a surprising thing for me to find because it isn't really anything new. It is something that came out about a year ago at Toys R Us here in the States. And I found it on one occasion. I thought it was a little bit expensive. I think it was like $60 or so. So I was a little bit put off by that. And I said, hey, I'm going to wait and I'll pick it up later. Never found it again. Lo and behold, I'm in Japan and I end up finding it there at Toys R Us. So I finally picked it up, and it was about $45 or so after the conversion, which is a pretty good discount off of what it costs, or what it used to cost at Toys R Us. Even on the secondary market, they're going for around $70 right now. So I thought this was a good thing to buy, and I'm glad I picked it up. Glad to finally have these. And the last thing that I got that's Star Wars related was also at Bit Camera. This was towards the end of the trip, but it was something that I had seen early in the trip that I wanted to pick up, but finally I waited till the end to get it and chose to go ahead and buy it. It was the Takara Tomy BB-8 diecast figure. And I wanted to get a Takara Tomy figure. I was kind of going back and forth between a few different ones. And BB-8 I thought kind of looked the best because they did have a display where you could see all the figures. And I thought that it looked really nice. So, and none of these seem to be in scale with each other, which was the other issue. So BB-8's a little bit larger, a little heftier. And later I found out you could actually buy these on Amazon for a couple dollars more. But, in Japan, it just made sense to go and pick this up. So that's what I did. All right, so last but not least, and literally this is the very last toy that I bought in Japan, is the Bandai Tamashii Nations SH Monster Arts Godzilla 1954 6-inch action figure. And I got this one from Bit Camera. I had seen it previously at Ami Ami for less money. And I was able to get them to match the price to Ami Ami. I know it says $69.80 there on the price tag, whereas Ami Ami had it for $5,400. They were very gracious enough to match the price for me. And I don't normally go for Godzilla. I'm not the biggest Godzilla fan. I mean, I used to watch the films with my brother when we were kids because he had all of them. But it's never something that I've collected. I've never owned a Godzilla-related toy prior to this. And I just didn't feel like it would be right to leave Tokyo without picking up a Godzilla figure. So that's exactly what I did. And I thought this one would be the one to get. It's a 1954 version of the character. And I know it's ridiculously hard for you to see this because it's all packaged up and everything and wrapped in plastic. You can kind of see him right there. But this is a highly articulated, highly detailed action figure. And I think it's going to be really cool. I am looking forward to getting that unboxed and, getting him displayed in my shelf. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This has been Toy Hunting Adventures Japan Edition. I hope you enjoyed following me on my little adventure through Japan, looking for new toys and collectibles to add to my collection. I got quite a few of them. I think I did pretty well for myself. And what's funny is that most of this stuff isn't even anything I planned on getting. And I just think that that's really fun, especially with the things that are only available in Japan, like the Geshapon down there and those dinosaurs back there. I mean, that's stuff that I didn't plan on getting, but it's only available in Japan. And that makes it all the more worthwhile finding those sorts of things on your voyages and your journeys. And Japan, just an absolutely gorgeous country, the nicest, most politest, amazing people you can imagine, and such a great culture, great country. And honestly, I cannot wait to go back there. I loved it there. It was so amazing. And yeah, I mean, I got a lot of toys to unbox and might review a few of them. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in. As always, let me know what you think about all of this stuff down in the comments. What's your favorite item that I picked up while visiting Japan? Please like, subscribe, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And as always, I'd like to thank you for tuning in to Victoria's Cantina. Until next time, bye-bye.